Well, we've decided to sell our van, so this will probably be the last video we make of it. Just gonna give you a bit of a tour on it, explain some of the problems. Hopefully that will help anyone looking to buy it. So it is a 2005 T5. It's the T32 long wheelbase, I believe, and you can see it's been kitted to an auto sleeper. It is the T32 100 brake horse, 2.5 litre diesel. That is the AXD engine. You can see it's got larger than usual Land Rover wheels on it, with the correctly uprated tyres, upgraded bolts and spigots. And then I'm just going to go around the outside and point out some of the flaws that we've got. So it does need a good clean at the moment. The front bumper is unfortunately suffering from some paint blister, so if I was keeping it, I'd plan to respray that. You can see here as well. It is debadged on the front, that's a different grille. Around the side you can see it's fairly clean. There are some little signs of surface rust. Down this side, the worst bit is this bit here that's bobbled a bit under the window there, but it's still solid, can easily be repaired. The odd little age-related mark that you'd get on a van. This has done about 173,000. I'll write that down and confirm that. It's been, in the past, someone's done a bit of spraying here, but there is just a little bit coming back through. But in overall, not too bad. Small dent here. Pretty clean this side. Otherwise, the rear bumper has had a few knocks, reversed into a couple of things. So we've got a crack in the bumper here. It's held on by a screw across the back. It's not too bad, but there is a dent in this door here. That was a post, and the bumper survived that, but the door has a dent in it. There is also a crack in the bumper this side. So really the rear bumper could do with replacing, otherwise not too bad. And again up this side, as you can see, fairly clean and tidy. There is a bit more rust down on this side, a little bit there as well. Overall though, doors all work well. It's got the double barn door on the back. Also come with this bike carrier that says it can do 35 kilograms. It takes 2 bikes. Needs a good clean up. It's obviously been on the drive now for 18 months undriven, but that will clean up nicely. Now in the back, we empty to have a look in the back. We open up, you see we've got a DIY conversion in here. So it does have a hookup box. It does have 2 plug sockets on the other side of the wardrobe there. That has been DIY installed, so if you're going to rent this out, or you want a habitation certificate, you'll have to get that done professionally. It does have fitted curtains, reasonable carpeting, could do with a clean and a tidy, of course. Curtain on that side. In the back here we have storage under the back of the bed here, table and pole, spare curtain, solar shower and stool. Also going to include in this cupboard here is your jack, spare oil, some coolant and a gas cylinder here. And again, the gas cylinder is DIY fitted, so to make it all safe you will need a professional to look into that, and that goes off towards the cooker. This is the hatch for changing the bottle. The bottle is not kept in a bottle storage, so if that's something you want, that will need upgrading, which will be best to make sure it's nice and safe. That's it from the back. Now before we get too far into this video, I do want to say that there is an engine fault with this van. So it was running really well. It had a complete engine recon about 2 years ago, new clutch, flywheel, injectors, all the works, oil pump, cylinder liners, everything. It worked really well for 2 years. And then after it's been on the drive, unused, we took it for a drive. It made a kind of like a ping or a whirring noise. And after that, it just hasn't run right, so it sounds rough. So what I'll do is I'll pop the bonnet, start the engine. You can hear what that sounds like. So as you can see, the engine starts and runs fine, but it does sound clattery to me. To some people, they might think that sounds completely fine, but after having the engine rebuilt and hearing what a new engine sounds like, to me it sounds like something's gone wrong, along with the ping. I'm not sure what would need to be done, but when I spoke to my mechanic, he did say that it'd be the front end off, take the rocker cover off to have a look. If there's nothing wrong there, take the sump off, and if we can't find anything wrong there, it might have to be get to the cam drives, which are sprocket. So it's not belt, it's not chain driven, but it's sprocket driven. I've decided I don't want to have that work done. I don't have the funds available at the moment, so I think it's best to sell it as is. Well, finally got some dry weather, so I could give it a hoover. Let's take a look inside to see what we're going to get in here. So as you can see, we've got kind of a B&Q kitchen here. Got the cooker hobs, 2 cooker hobs and a sink. That does work, but as I said, it will need to be tested to make sure it's safe. And the tap here is also cold water only. That's driven by the tank that's underneath the seat. So you've got some storage in there, fire extinguisher mounted. That takes me to down here. We have our battery box, but probably fit more batteries in there if you want. We've got one cupboard. Find 2 stacking boxes go in there nicely on top of each other. We've got the fridge. Now I've got a helicopter coming over. The fridge hasn't really been used since we put it in. It does work off 240 volts, so normally if we're on hookup, I'll plug it in like that and leave the wardrobe open ajar. I did have an inverter in here as well that was mounted in here, but I've taken it out, so it used to be plugged in there. The hookup gives you these 2 sockets and the 2 USBs. Helicopter's passed now. So 2 USBs on the hookup there. But you've also got the solar charger here that runs off the 120 watts that are bonded on the roof. They're flexible, they're not glass ones, so they're lightweight. And that's got the 2 USB ports to charge off the solar. You've also got your 12 volt auxiliary ports there for your 12 volt accessories or phone chargers. I did have it mounted so that I could run the plugs off the inverter, but that was too dodgy, so I've taken all that out. There was a changeover switch there, but you could do that. Battery voltage, smoke detector. Have these IKEA rail here, which can take these little pots. They clip on, and you find that if you put stuff in there, they do tend to stay in there. It doesn't drop out, but mostly for hanging stuff on when we're actually camped. Then we have the over cab area. That was next to do. I was going to strip all that out. There are these wires here that terminate down in the box at the bottom of there, the wardrobe, sorry. And they're not live, they're just in there from before we had the van. And I was thinking of wiring the telly up through 12 volt from there. That needs doing. There was a television mounted on this plate. I'll leave the plate there. It's a modified speaker stand. Just this bit of string here stops the TV from flopping over. And then the TV kind of folds back into that space there and sits up there snug and tidy. There was a door on here, took that off, and that's left a bit of a mess, so that needs sorting. Same on this side. We have got the storage along here, so sometimes I actually put our e-bike batteries in there, or maybe the pole for the table, umbrella, stuff like that. Bedding storage up here. Did I cover the cupboards? If I did, I let them out. We've got the, again, IKEA cupboards here. They're nice and deep. Get loads of stuff in those. They push and pop to open, but they will fly open when you're driving. So there's these catches as well. We've got the smoke detector 12-volt light up here. There's a switch there. There was a remote on it, but it failed. So I took the remote off. You could wire that back in, install a remote in there. We've got 2 fully working roof vents. Leave them open, it's really warm. One on the back, one on the front, so plenty of light in. If you don't want the light, you'll have to make some sort of blind for these or buy the blinds. I think we've looked in the back. Yeah, fan, very important. It's really warm today, so I'd have that fan running. And then what have we got here? The bed. So I'm going to try and do the bed one-handed. We're going to do the thing there. Let's actually pop that back there, it'll make it easier. We need to make sure this area is clear before we put the bed down, or otherwise it will catch down there. That's fine. Handle this side because you use that for lifting the bed back up. We take this one forward a bit. Let's move it out of the way, it makes it easier. Don't have to take them off, but it makes it easier. Lift this, grab, pull it forward, down like that. So that's the bed in there. I'm 5 foot 10.5, something like that, and I fit on there fine. Yeah, comfortable bed really. I did make the covers myself, but the zips are not the best on them, so the zips could break if you take them off for cleaning, but they're all the right size and I think they would look quite nice. Where else? I think I've covered pretty much everything very quickly. Important is the bin, velcroed down there so it doesn't fly about. We've got there was a diesel heater mounted here, and there's actually a plate under the seat. You can see a video of mine where I mounted that. I wanted to keep that, so that's come out. And then we have a quick look up the front. Front's still a bit messy. It could do with a polish and clean. I don't think I'm going to get around to it. At the moment there's an Android stereo in there. I was thinking of taking that out, but I might include it if it reaches enough money. There is the dash. What is the mileage? 173,606, so 173,606 miles. I'm not going to drive it, so it will stay as that. I got these nice chairs. They're original chairs, but they're in much better quality than the original. There isn't really any problems with the chair, except for a bit of a mark there from getting in and out. And also the previous owners had, their dog had attacked this, so there's some bite marks in that. But other than that, it's all nice and as expected for the age. Remember, it has done 173,000. It is a 2005, but except for the engine problem, everything works as it should. There was another problem I discovered after starting it over from not driving it, is this selector here has kind of gone faulty. I find it works in one direction but not the other, and also these are the USB ports for the stereo. There's television and USB there and stuff, and a 3G dongle, so it's got internet and everything like that. If I take them out, they won't be hanging out a hole. If I leave it here, I hadn't thought of any other way of mounting them, so they're hanging out of a hole at the moment. That's it really. I think I covered everything. I'll go back, watch the video, and if I've missed anything, I'll come back and cover it again.